it can be very stressful at times.
In different ways.
In different ways, for sure. So this is kind of a free-for-all space. So we eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner here. And we loved our life at the time, but it did feel very mundane for the Monday through Friday.
And most important, TV for football and golf.
So I am Brianna.
And I'm Tyler.
And we are out here wondering on Instagram. Welcome to our kitchen. This is where we do a good amount of our cooking. So here we usually have our drying rack, but otherwise we're using it along with this space to cut some veggies or cut up the meat. This is our sink. It has the two sides to it, our nice faucet. All of this is standard in the Grand Design Solitude that we have. Down here we have a few different cabinet spaces. Over here we have the microwave. Up here we have our spices. We do have a gas range, so we use that for cooking as well. The one thing we don't love is that the oven takes so long to cook food. So don't use the oven too much. We prefer the Ninja air fryer much more over it. We kind of just use the oven if we're doing more than one side. And then over here we have our fridge, which is a full residential fridge. And we love that so much because our old travel trailer was just so much smaller and we could not carry near as much food with us whenever we traveled. And over here we have our pantry, which is shared with our washer. So pros of having this model is that you have washer and dryer hookups, but then you do lose out on your pantry space. So then you kind of have to juggle if having a washer and dryer in your home is more important, or if you like the space more. For us, we don't need a ton of pantry space, so we were perfectly fine with this. And then over here, we have our little coffee area. The nice thing about this setup, I love how we have some of the dishes displayed. Kind of gives it a little bit more of a homier feel to me. And we have the non-slip paper underneath it, and we've never had anything fall off, which I think is remarkable because everything else seems to move around except for those glass dishes. And then up there we have just extra counter space for some coffee mugs, bowls, plates, and pots and pans. Okay, so really all we have done is the wallpaper. Everything else in here is exactly as it came, including the tile. We are planning on switching out all of the handles. Since we recently painted the white, we like the black handles. So that's a little bit of a work in progress. And then we are going to put on peel and stick backsplash just because we prefer that a different color over the cream that they have now. Before it looked so white, and then we painted the camper white, and now it gives it a different shade. So this is our dinette area. Along with the kitchen, this is also a slide. So whenever it is closed in, you cannot access the dining room or the kitchen. That's obviously a con if you're one of those people that want to be able to stop for lunch, get into the kitchen without having to put the slide out. So here we have the dinette. Underneath here, we have storage for both sides. So those fully lift out. This also converts into a bed. We have yet to use it. I'm sure it's very uncomfortable. I work remote from the dinette, and the kids generally will be at the table with me at least for some of the day while I'm working during their homeschool. So this is kind of a free-for-all space. So we eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner here, and then I'm working here majority of the day as well. And then over here we have our recliners. They came stock with the camper. It has the massage setting, the heat setting, and then you can also charge your phones from those. So we love the recliners. The downfall is if you have a big family, there's not a ton of sitting room. So we have a little ottoman thing over there. It's actually a storage ottoman, so you can stuff a bunch of blankets in it. The kids kind of use that usually to sit down there, and then my husband and I sit on the couch and kind of recline and relax. And lastly, over here, we have the fireplace and the TV. So it's really an all-in-one area for the kitchen, dining, and living. But we really don't mind it that much. I think at our old house, we were used to having a big, great room for the most part. And so it kind of feels similar to that, just on a much smaller level. We are the Kleinmeyers. We have 2 kids, ages 2 and 4. Before we started traveling full time, we lived in Jacksonville, Florida, in a great community, tons of friends there. We were the party house. We were always doing gatherings and things like that. But we were always busy and we were burnt out. We had the nice house and the cars, and it was just exhausting keeping up with it all.
We just didn't have time, basically.
Yeah. So I work from home, and I have since 2018. And during that time, I had our daughter home with me, and our son went to daycare. And because Tyler was in the office most days for
long, 12 hours at least, every day, Monday through Friday.
For months on end, that left me doing most of the daycare pickups and drop-offs, cooking dinner a lot of the time, more often than not, and keeping up with a 2,600 square foot house, having to clean it. He did all the yard work and things like that, but we were just so exhausted during the week. And then on the weekends, we were just trying to cram in all of the parties and all of the gatherings and going, out for lunch and just all of the things that we only had such limited time to be able to do.
On top of all the chores that still needed to be done.
Right.
And then you just have to do it all over again on every Monday.
And it just felt very mundane. And we loved our life at the time, but it did feel very mundane for the Monday through Friday. So we decided for our 5-year anniversary to buy a camper.
Never camped, really did any hiking or outdoorsy things other than like fishing and stuff. But yeah, we decided to just get a camper. It looked cool. See it online all the time. People having a good time at campgrounds and in the woods. So figured we'd give it a try.
Yep. So this is the kids' room. This is also another slide out. This is a bunk bed. This piece does fold up. Down here we used to have a couch. It was a fold-out couch that came with the camper. My parents slept on it one time. They said it was horrible, so we ditched the couch. And we ended up bringing pretty much the entire storage bin of toys that we had at our house. I love that. Moving into the camper, we didn't have to sacrifice what makes the kids happy just for something we wanted to do. So we brought all their toys. And then up here, we have storage bins for their clothes. And then down here, we have more of their clothes. And then this opens up with a little pull out for jackets. So we have that in there. We have their homeschool stuff in there. And then over here, we have their bunk beds. So our kids are 2 and 4. And so our 2-year-old, we were really worried about her falling off of the bunk bed. So we bought this on Amazon and absolutely love it. It goes up. You have to clip it in with 2 fingers to be able to unlock it. So it's been a very good thing for her to have. So we have that peace of mind that she's not going to fall out of bed at night. Okay, and then here we have the kids' bathroom. We do not use that for them. We just have them take baths over in our shower, but we do use it for storage. The thing about this that we don't love is when you go to open the door, it hits the ladder. So to me, this was a poor design with the ladder hooking here at this spot. It just doesn't make it easily accessible for the kids. Okay, now we're in the bathroom. Here we have our 2 storage cabinets on this side, pretty decent size. And then down here we have a couple more storage cabinets, a medicine cabinet. We do have a shower. We ended up buying a collapsible bathtub for the kids so they could use that instead of having to take a shower. And then over here we have some shelves that we got off of Amazon. It just makes it so much easier. Otherwise, on travel days, you're having to take everything out of the shower, put it into something, It's a real pain in the butt. And then for the pictures on the wall, we actually use Velcro strips, which absolutely 100% recommend those. They've been great, and they're good for travel days. You don't have to take anything off the wall. So our tank for fresh water is 81 gallons. So if we want to, we can go off grid and our water will last us at least a few days. It really just depends how much you're using. We tend to be a little bit more cautious of it when we are boondocking, but generally we don't boondock for more than 1 or 2 days at a time. So we never have an issue. If we are at an RV park, which generally we are, you have unlimited water because you just hook up to the city water at the campground. Okay, and then we have the sink here. The sink is fine. I don't love that it's that color, but I can make do with it. However, the faucet drives us crazy. I clean this thing regularly and it's so dirty looking. So it's very hard to get the water residue off. I actually just was trying to figure a solution out to that the other day. Someone told me to use Barkeeper's Friend and it did not work. So don't buy that. Anyway, at some point we will hopefully replace this and then get some peel and stick backsplash in here too. So this is our bedroom. This is also another slide. So in total we have 4 slides in here. RV mattresses that come with the camper, in my opinion, are awful. So we have a bed topper on here and we absolutely love it. So highly recommend getting one of those. We have some wall decor we put up, again, with those whole Velcro strips. Those have worked amazing for that. Over here we have the blinds. We took off the valances throughout the camper and the blinds came stock with the camper. And then here we have our closet, which is one of the things that completely sold me on this RV was how big our closet was. So a lot of the other RVs, you're sharing your closet with the washer, and that was something we knew we didn't want, which is why this design worked out well for us. But in here we have my husband's side, my side, and then there's shelves on each of the sides as well as in the back, so it leaves plenty of room. And then over here we have our dresser along with the TV, another blind, another window. And this is the same dresser that came in the camper. It's attached to the wall so you don't have to worry about it falling down whenever you're driving. But whenever we're traveling, we pretty much just take everything off the dresser and anything that's on the floor, move it to the bed, and then that way we don't have to worry about anything falling and breaking. And then the closet doors do attach, so that way they're shut during travel day. Tyler came home and said it would be so cool if we could just do this full time.
Totally kind of kidding at the time. Like, who knew it would be like a realistic adventure?
And then so I stayed up that night for about 3 hours. I went through our budget. I went through our finances. I looked up, Instagram people who do this full time to see kind of a glimpse into their lives. I started looking at the prices of bigger campers. So we had a travel trailer. And for purposes of this, we would need a 5th wheel for us to comfortably be able to live in it and me be able to work from home with the kids being here with us. So the next day, Tyler woke up with the text from me telling him that if he was serious, we could make it happen.
Let's do it.
And then, so we did it.
Yeah.
We went
did it in
through,
what, like 50 days? Like turnaround time?
It was a very quick. So that was in August we made the decision. And then by November 4th, we had closed on our house. So originally, we had planned to keep our house and only Airbnb it out or even rent it out to one person for 3 months. And then from there, we were going to come back. But then when we started looking into the requirements to keep property homestead in Florida, you have to live in the house at least 6 months out of the year. And we just didn't know if 6 months was going to be enough time for us. We had the very realistic expectation that we may get on the road and love it so much and want to keep going. So at that point, we just decided, okay, let's just go for it and sell the house. We can always buy another house.
Yeah.
And we've been doing it since December. So we stayed at a campground full time for a month, just to finish selling off my car and
figure out how to work everything.
Right. Getting familiar with the camper was a big one, right? But we did all that and then we hit the road in December and we've been traveling since then. And I work remote. I work in technology for a company called Phoenix Team. They're amazing. If you work in tech, hit me up. And Tyler is now a stay-at-home dad.
For the 2 Rugrats. Check out the outdoor kitchen. First and foremost, we got our spacious little mini fridge. It's where we kind of just keep all the alcoholic beverages and stuff like that. We also have a flat top griddle, just flips out, and then it hooks into our propane down underneath here. So we don't have to have an extra tank down here, which is good. Plenty of space for just storing all the grill stuff. We keep a toaster out here that we never use because we got an air fryer. Does have a functional sink as well, and most important, TV for football and golf. Here we have one side of our pass-through storage. As you can see, it's very wide and it's pretty tall. It goes up basically to the floor. It is heated, which is good because it keeps things kind of climate controlled under there so they don't get mildewy or nasty during the cold months. We actually have our 2 generators under here. It's easy when we're boondocking, just pull them out the other side, hook them up, and then we have full power. We can use all of our ACs, refrigerators, and it just makes us basically self-sufficient. We also have a 6-point auto level system, and it's the Lippert Ground Control 3.0. Absolutely fantastic. It makes setup a breeze. I just unhook the truck and press a button, does this little thing, and it is absolutely perfectly level. We love it. It feels stable, and the reason it feels stable is we added the snap pads on the bottom there as well, just to give it a bigger footprint, and they're like a rubberized material, so if we're ever on like a slippery surface or rocks or something like that, it helps it prevent it from moving. We also have another storage area under the nose. It has our batteries under there. I keep the water hoses separate from all the other hoses underneath here. We have fluids, cleaners, things that you don't use that often because it's kind of hard to get under there. And our propane fire pit as well, which is awesome. All right, this is the business side of the RV. We have all of our water hookup here, tank levers, ice maker shut-off valve, and I keep the tools and hoses, electrical cords, all in this area because everything's kind of right here to begin with. We also have our leveling system control pad right there that we were talking about. And you can see the generators a little bit better on this side as well. This is the side that I'll pull them out of because there's less stuff in the way whenever we are boondocking. So here are the valves that control whether we're, as we are here, hooked up to city water or boondocking. We would have to turn the levers to utilize the fresh water from our tanks as opposed to the city hookup. And the way that we access that, just turn this knob up, you're dry camping. There's a water pump button right there as well. And then it just feeds the lines from the inside and keeps it fully contained. Our freshwater capacity is 81 gallons. The gray water capacity is 106. That is split between the 2 gray tanks that we have because we have one that handles the washer and the front bathroom, and then another one that handles the rear bathroom and the kitchen. So we have 2 black tanks, 2 gray tanks. Both of those combined are 106 gallons. So it's like 50-ish between the 2 of them. I mean, if we're being stingy with it, we can go a couple of weeks probably. But if we just want to live like normal, 1 week we can basically keep everything in, dump it before we go, and then we start fresh at the next spot. Here we have a 90-degree connection, kind of a little bit of an extension from our factory plug. It's a 50 amp plug, it goes right into the power box. This just helps reduce the strain on this joint. As it comes out here, this is taking the brunt of the strain versus this one, which is kind of sagging on it a little bit, and it's a heavy cord, so I can't imagine what it's doing on the inside. We have a screw-in cap on the sewer that helps secure the connection from the pipe to the dump line, basically. And also that little slinky looking thing helps kind of keep it at an angle because it flows with gravity. And we have 2 of them because we have 2 grays and 2 blacks. One for up front, one for in the back as well.
What I would say to someone that is thinking about living this lifestyle is that it is a life of freedom. However, it can be very stressful at times.
In different ways.
In different ways, for sure. You have to literally worry about towing a huge piece of equipment down the road and not
your house.
Your house down the road, right? So that can be very stressful. I don't tow. I never have, and I never will. We have a 3500 dually, so I do not drive the truck, and I do not tow the camper with the truck. However, Tyler, on the other hand, he definitely can relate to it being very stressful and intimidating driving it too. I think at first, if you've never driven
At first, because I drove a truck before, but it wasn't like a heavy duty truck, and I had towed a little bit before, like tiny U-Haul trailers, but not something that's 41, 42 feet long, weighs 17,000 pounds. So like there's a lot that you got to worry about with route planning, making sure you're safe because we're pretty tall and heavy with bridges, and you got to worry about tires and making sure the equipment's taken care of as well. Just do it. Like, you never know.
With all that said, it is just truly the experience of our lives. We couldn't have, been more happy that we did this.
Oh, yeah.
I literally wake up almost daily and I'm just like, this is crazy that this gets to be our life. And I'm just genuinely grateful that we did take the leap. So if you were on the fence, it can be very scary.
Just try it.
But it's definitely worth trying. Traveling full time and seeing this beautiful country is something we will never forget. We'll never forget the memories and the time back that we have with our kids. The time back is so important. It's just really irreplaceable. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see and want to follow us, feel free to follow along on Instagram at Out Here Wandering.
Thank you.